Hey guys.
So we're getting ready to come on. Shaman and Yolanda Harper, The Connected Relationship. And Shaman looks at me and says, tell a story or tell a joke. I'm like, I don't joke.
She does not.
I am not the joke teller in
Right.
this dyad. So
Right.
But you did you told him not joke.
I did. It was a very bad one.
Aren't all knock jokes bad?
No, some of them are good. I think.
Tell me a good knock joke.
Oh yeah, there's no good.
Do you know a good knock joke? If you do, drop it in the comments.
Anyway, you introduced us, right?
I did. But
So-
you're Shaman,
I'm Shaman, yeah.
and I'm Yolanda.
And we were going to talk a little bit about calm,
Yeah, being the calm in the storm.
right?
Yeah,
2020's kind of been a year.
it has been a year. It's been a year.
I mean, we've
Pandemic.
had pandemics. We've had elections.
And we've had multiple storms here in Florida, where we are.
Yeah, wildfires out
We have-
west.
yeah. But here in Florida, I think we were having the conversation the other day. Like, we're used to storms in the Gulf and hurricanes and tropical storms and stuff. But this year has been something else. I think we're in the Greek letters.
Yeah.
Like every year, every storm has a name, right? The Hurricane Center gives a list of names, and then when you run out of names, they go to the Greek alphabet.
Right.
We're in the Greek alphabet.
Yeah,
So-
I think they said on the news we're further along than we've ever been in the Greek alphabet
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
But I mean that's just indicative of I think 2020, unfortunately.
And here's the thing. I mean, we've got holidays coming up. Which
Right,
are-
it's about to get even worse.
well, I mean, we just went through an election. We have holidays coming up, and I think holidays tend to be stressful.
Right.
Good stress and stress. But
Right.
this year I think is unique because we just don't know what the holidays are going to look like, right? COVID
Right.
numbers are back on the rise. We're being told, don't gather.
Right.
All of these things. So now and over the next several weeks, we are going to give you some tips on how your relationship can be a calm spot
Right.
in
And
the storm of 2020.
I mean, it only takes watching the daily news cycle to kind of throw that.
Turn off the news. Just turn off the news.
But I mean, yes, we've been talking through calm and
Yeah.
and it's been important to our relationship, and I think it has validity of being important in multiple ways,
Yeah.
particularly as we wrap up this year
Yeah.
and start the next year and kind of maybe find
Whatever
a
brings-
safer place to navigate in our
Yeah.
relationships rather than nagging at each other and beating each other up. Because I mean, in our private practice, we're seeing tons of couples right now.
Yeah, a lot of phone calls from couples.
The stress of this year and the events of this year have just been insane on couples. And I mean, some couples are working through it and staying together. Some couples, are on death's door as far as the relationship is concerned. And some are like, I just want out.
Yeah, and our hope in the connected relationship is that we can share some of these tips with you,
Right.
so that you don't get that far down the path.
Right.
That the idea is let's give tips and put things into place
Right.
to be proactive and preventative before we need couples therapy.
Which is the entire point of the connected relationship.
Right, and why we're giving tips for being the calm in the storm.
Right. So our first tip is check in with yourself.
Individually, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's when things are kind of at high stress in a relationship and couples are kind of about ready to launch in at each other, maybe it's a good moment to kind of, okay, what's wrong? Why am I feeling this way? Get curious about it.
Yeah, before you go into that explosion on your partner or
Right.
building the brick wall and stonewalling and, that kind of trauma, fight, flight, freeze response that we
Right.
can get into. So
Right.
creating some space, checking in with ourselves, getting curious about what's going on.
Right. Which takes us to number 2, which is slow down. Not every immediate stressor has to be engaged right that second.
Yeah, and it's interesting because stressors outside of the relationship definitely impact the relationship. And so you might be kind of feeling the stress and taking it out on your partner. But
Right.
slowing down, and I'm a trauma therapist. I've been doing that for 10 years. So
Right.
for me, it's this really active process of like literally grounding myself.
Right.
Like literally
Right.
pressing my feet into the floor.
Against the floor, right? You've talked about this before.
Taking some breaths.
Right.
Our brain has these things called mirror neurons, and when one of us in the couple can do that and be that calm in kind of this upheaval, then that can translate. Those mirror neurons
Right.
will take that in, so it can help calm each of us down.
Right. I mean, just kind of stopping, checking in with yourself, taking a moment to breathe.
Yeah.
I mean, is like leaps and bounds in dealing with stress,
Right.
particularly in your relationship.
Right.
Which I think kind of takes us to our third point, which is understand the why, right? Understand what's getting you so wrapped up and so spun up, and individually and as a couple.
Right.
If you can take a moment to just kind of check in with yourself and slow down, and then really dig into, okay, why do I feel this way? A lot of times you find it's those exterior things that are just, it's just like the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could be whatever your personal process is. For me, it's journaling. It's like,
Right.
I have this innate need for safety and security, right?
Right.
That's kind of what drives me. And so like a lot of that can come out sideways if I don't kind of slow down long enough to
Right, because we can get so
really
spun up
understand
into,
that.
oh my gosh, it's not safe, and I'm not secure, and life's so crazy, and this world's falling apart this year, and there's an election, and oh my God, now the holidays are about to happen, and
Yeah.
it just keeps spinning and
Yeah.
spinning, and I think we can do a lot to stop it.
Yeah.
Particularly kind of understanding that.
Right.
Understanding what all those exterior stressors are and those pushers are that are kind of taking you in a relationship to this really high volatile thing. And our last tip for today is practicing safe communication.
Yeah, and we talked about what safe communication is. It is like, am I communicating with my partner from my highest and best, from my
Right.
my wise self? Have I slowed down? Right?
Right.
Do
Have I done
is-
my work?
Right? Is my intention like that of love and connection, or
Right.
is my intention that of like conflict and strife?
Let me be a
and
sledgehammer here.
being right and
Right.
controlling and all of those things.
Right.
So that looks a lot like having a generous assumption of your partner, using the I statements.
Right, like I feel this way. And maybe not even understanding all of it. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel this way. And that's okay. But getting that out is important, that it's coming from my standpoint, not, hey, you.
Right.
You're always
Right.
this, you're always that. Because then it's like these really false.
Yeah, black and white, like all of that
Right.
stuff. Yeah, I think also making sure that it's a good time. I think
That's the
we
biggest.
can set ourselves up for really a much more successful outcome, and that's part of safe communication. Like, hey,
Right.
is now a good time to talk about this thing?
Right. And it's really important. It's important that they seem like such simple little steps, but each one of them will help bring it down just a little bit more and help take the edge off. And it builds, and it will create an environment that there's calm in your relationship, particularly in a year like 2020 when the world feels like it's ending.
So because we want you to end 2020 as best as possible in your relationship, we will be bringing some more tips in the coming weeks as we wrap up the year on how to be the calm in the storm for your partner in your relationship, and really for yourself, how to set that tone for yourself too. So make sure that you like the Connected Relationship Facebook page, and stay tuned for our updates.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Have a good one.